right, Shaq, Richard's been my general manager all year, so I'm putting the hat back on you now.
There we go.
If you were the Houston Texans and you got an all-world quarterback in Deshaun Watson, and he's not happy, right? We've seen instances of this before. I saw it in Cincinnati. Carson Palmer was in here, and he said, I ain't coming back. And they said, oh, you'll come back. You'll come back. So he sat out a few games and said, no, you'll come back. Halfway through the year, they've got no choice. They had to trade him, right? He wasn't going to play football anymore for him. So what do you think happens to Deshaun Watson and or Russell Wilson this year? Are they still playing for Houston and Seattle respectively, or are they moving on?
I think Deshaun Watson going to be out of there. It seems like there's no way that anything could work down there for him. Like he already checked out. He don't want to get a new coach a chance, nothing. Like he just want to be out of there. That's not where he want to be no more. So I think he's going to be gone. But I think Russell, like he might have a chance to stay, but they really do need to protect Russell a little bit better though. Like I don't think he ever had like a average offensive line. I think they always performed probably below average, like numbers wise. And I would like Russell, he probably will stay because they always contenders every year, but they not really going to be able to get anything done without a shored up offensive line.
Richard, you've been around Seattle as much as anybody, and you know Pete Carroll. So they paid Russ, right? He got paid. You know, there's always a price to be paid when you make the most money, and you take as much of it off the table. So maybe they can't pay offensive linemen what they may be able to do otherwise. Do you think that Pete Carroll is actually thinking about this at this point, just from a standpoint of what else can I do to make this guy happy? We paid him, we gave him the long-term contract. And if he wants to go that bad, I still want to go play defense and run the football anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because that strategy is what's worked on every level for him. It worked at USC, even when he had great passers and great pass catchers. You know, he still had Reggie Bush and Lindale White running the ball. When he had Marshawn, at its best, you know, that's the strategy that wins most in football. Even with Tampa, you know, it was great defense, running the football with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. They ran the football, they balanced, you know, they made big plays in the pass game, but it was running the football that established the play action, et cetera, and allowed them to move the football down the field. So I think that's where it's getting lost. I think people are getting lost somewhere thinking, oh man, they actually had a pretty, I mean, I don't know what PFF had them at, but I think they were right middle of the pack this year in their offensive line. I think they were like 12th or 13th. So it wasn't like an awful offensive line, but it's a different style of football. It was just like Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. It's like, hey, when you're off the spot that they expect you to be in, you can't expect the tackle to know exactly where you're at. You can't expect, hey, you're off to the right in that pass rusher season, but the tackle, you don't see him. So he making his pass rush plan with you right there, and the tackle thinking you in the pocket. So I don't think the outside world will ever fully understand what that takes, you know. And I think the greatest success that was had was early when he was on his rookie contract, and it was defense. It was Marshawn running the ball. It was you know, him having to make plays on a limited basis. You know, he had to make the plays that were there, but it wasn't consistently on his back to say, hey, if you don't play well, the game's over. You know, and now that's the case. Now if he doesn't play well, they're paying him, I don't know, $35 million. They paid him multiple times. So that comes to territory. You know, when you're making that kind of money, if you don't play well, the team's not going to win, and it's going to be on you. That's going to happen. You know, and they're not going to. They have a good tackle in Dwayne Brown. You know, the rookie guard played really well. They do need a center. You know, hopefully they find a way to shore that up. But no matter what, when you shore that up, if you shore up the whole offensive line and pay that, then you're not going to have a defense. You know, then you're going to be in shootouts. It's always you're given somewhere. So you're going to be winning 40-38 every week, you know. And
well, it's interesting because both Russell and Deshaun, part of the reason you pay those guys is they're going to make people miss, right? I mean, that's part of the value of what they bring to it. So as a general manager, I might even think about, well, I can spend my money somewhere else because the first guy's not going to get them on the ground anyway.
Yeah. Right. There's some of that. And then you got the playmakers. You know, they had Lockett, you know, they got Metcalf. and they're about to come up. You know, Lockett's making his money now, but Metcalf's about to come up and he's about to take max money, you know, and that's going to be a whole another thing to deal with. You know, once that comes up, then it's like 20 more million. So that has to come from somewhere, you know, and it's like, what other piece are you going to take away to give him? Because he's on a rookie deal right now. He's vastly outplaying it, you know, making huge plays, being consistent week in and week out. So it's not, you know, it's not going to get any easier.